Ever wonder to yourself, how in the world could that person think that? They must be crazy. But are they? My name is Chad Moore. I'm the Minister of Students and Families, and
this is Eva.
and this is Beyond the Notes. Welcome to this week's episode of Beyond the Notes. My name is Chad Moore, and I'm joined today by my daughter, Eva. And she is 6 years old in first grade here at SFCA, and she's going to help us out just a little bit. We were talking about crazy things, right? We talked on Sunday about truth and kind of the nature of truth. And we hear so many crazy things all throughout the day and every week. And Eva, have you ever heard anything crazy?
Yes.
Can you tell me about one of those things?
One time somebody told me that they got a necklace from a mermaid.
What? That's crazy. Did you hear anything else that was crazy?
Yes, somebody also said they got a dinosaur for their birthday.
They got a dinosaur for their birthday. What did you think when they told you that?
I said, no way.
Did you think it was crazy?
Yes.
Did you think it was true?
No.
Why not?
Because a long time ago, dinosaurs were real, but now they aren't.
Okay. Gotcha. Because you're like, what? There's not dinosaurs walking around. That's crazy. Yeah? Well, thank you for that help. You know, we hear so many different things all throughout our lives that just sound so crazy. But a lot of times, those things that sound crazy aren't actually crazy. They're actually logical conclusions that people come to, but they are working off of faulty premises off the bottom, right? Their foundation is wrong. And so a conclusion can actually be logical and wrong. You know, Paul encourages us in Colossians chapter 2. He says, "See to it that no one takes you captive by philosophy and empty deceit, according to human tradition, according to the elemental spirits of the world, and not according to Christ. For in him the whole fullness of deity dwells bodily, and you have been filled in him who is the head of all rule and authority." You know, there's a lot of conclusions people come to that we kind of initially write off as well, that's crazy. I can't believe they think that. But a lot of times if you track it back, you can think through the logic that someone has applied. And the problem is they've started at the wrong spot. And so, unfortunately, a lot of people come to the conclusion that their life is meaningless. Do you think your life is meaningless, Eva?
No.
No, right? Do you live for Jesus and for God?
Yes.
Yeah? Did God create you?
Yes.
Yeah. And he created you for a reason, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people that come to the conclusion and they make this statement, my life is meaningless. And it can sound crazy to us, but we try to understand where they're coming from because they're actually they think that they've come to a logical conclusion. And I would argue that sometimes they have. You see, if they don't believe that there is a God, if they believe that they were just here genetically by accident, by natural processes, then they come to a natural conclusion, a logical conclusion based on that foundation that their life is meaningless. And they walk around and they look around and they think about how they're not here for a purpose. They're just an accident of genetics, and it just happened that this world exploded into existence out of nowhere, and then this through this long evolutionary process, all of a sudden they existed, but it really wasn't for a reason. And so they try to potentially put in their own reasons to themselves of what their meaning in life is or what their purpose in life is. But the problem is that they've started off the wrong foundation. And if they truly understood that they were made by God for a reason, then they wouldn't come to this conclusion. They would come to a very different logical conclusion. You know, I think it's beautiful in Psalm 139 when it says, "For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well." You see, when we start with an understanding that there is a God, that this God is a creator of this entire universe and us individually, that we do have meaning. We do have purpose. We were created by a God who loves us and wants us to have a relationship with him. And maybe the next time you hear something that sounds a little bit crazy maybe it is crazy. Or maybe it's simply a very flawed conclusion that someone thinks they've come to logically, and maybe there has been some logic along the way, but the problem is that we need to help them work their way back to some of their foundational ideas and concepts that they have started with and help them see the truth of this world, to help them see the truth of the gospel, and hopefully watch them and see them walk into the truth, out of the darkness and into the light. How's that sound, Eva?
Good.
All right, good. I'm glad you think so. All right. We thank you for being with us today. If this podcast or some of the other podcasts you think would be valuable to someone else, please share it with them. Otherwise, we will join you again next week as we continue through John chapter 8.